Yo, what's going on? This is a live mastermind session with a difference tonight. So we're on my page. So what happens, guys, is every Monday at this time, what's usually going on is we're live inside my private group for Fit Pros, right? We have a mastermind mentorship. It's very expensive. It's very good, but it's very worth it. And this time we go live to help them. What we thought we'd do today, though, is actually do this publicly and let you guys in to see a little bit of what we do, take some of your questions, and have a good time. And I'm also here with my friend Simon Hall.
Hello.
So while Simon is out here in Cyprus with us, we thought we'd open up to your questions and have a general conversation tonight. We're just going to talk all things fitness, business, and whatever else comes up. So if you're watching this right now, tag another fitness professional in, share this on your page, tell everybody we're live. This is not usually a public service. This is usually paid and for our mastermind clients. So make the most of it tonight. Stay with us and tell your friends. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. If you are tuning in, screenshot, tag it, put it in your socials. But I'm going to lead this and throw it back to this man.
Go for it. There's no script.
So I don't really know what's going to happen here. But Justin, what I want to kind of get on, because I think this could be really beneficial for like your audience, is I've spent a lot of time here, and obviously I get to listen into what you're doing, and it seems to me that there's a certain couple of things that keep showing up in businesses, like why people are struggling to maybe get clients through the door, or people are struggling with systems. So if I was to throw this to your audience and was to say, what would you say like the three main struggles are for Fit Pros getting boot camps, sessions, clients off the floor is? What would you say those three core things are?
Yeah, that's right. I think actually what we see is that the three main struggles are correlated with three phases of growth. So if you're generally not making 10K a month yet, you're starting out, your biggest struggle is going to be positioning yourself, branding yourself, tying down your message, knowing who you serve, and just getting some momentum. That's the biggest challenge for that person typically, right? Sometimes these problems cross over, but generally that's the first thing. Those Fit Pros that are doing maybe 8 to 20,000 a month, they're in the problem where they've got clients coming in, they've got known for something, they've validated their service, they're actually doing pretty well, but now they're actually overwhelmed, stressed, and burned out because they built it all around themselves, and they don't have anything. They don't have any culture, systems, or team members, nor profits, right? But mostly no team or systems, right? And they haven't really invested in those things because they don't know how to do it properly. And the third problem would be those generally at 20K plus who have put money into systems, have put money into team members, have removed themselves, but there's no company profit because they've overspent on those things and don't know how to make ROI on them. So they're paying trainers £25 an hour and they're just putting out fires and it's costing them more money. So they're not able to scale past that because there's no profit to reinvest. So that's what I would say. Under 10K, it's clarity in message and momentum. 10 to 20K is generally systems and infrastructure. 20K plus is profitability and scalability.
I love how you've just chunked that down into income brackets. I always, the big one I always see as well, and it's not just in Fit Pro businesses, but it's like you were saying, is a lot of people really build a business around themselves. And I always think, what's that statue of the dude trying to hold the world up?
Oh, Atlas. Yeah.
I always see that's one of the biggest things on that. Who have we got tuned in? Who's dropped
Drop a comment if you come on, guys. So yeah, we can answer. We'll take questions and everything. Okay. Yeah. So that's the three biggest problems.
So where can we segue from that to? Where else can we get to with this?
Have you seen any other issues?
I think
it's not limited to those problems. That's just the three core things. But
I think you really touched upon a point of positioning. I think the biggest thing I see with more like people who are starting is it's like a pebble gun approach. So they just throw in pebbles at the wall and hoping things stick. And I always see there's no transparency or clarity with like what the product is, who they're serving, and the social media. Or they've created a business page, but their personal page ruins the business page. So there's no transparency, or if you've got a personal profile, that's you going out getting hammered all the time.
No brand consistency or integrity.
And that drops people. So I always think that that's one of the biggest things when it comes down to positioning, which you see quite a bit.
So you've got a bit of background in the fitness industry as well. Do you want to share
I've got a huge background
about some of the challenges you went through and how you overcame them? And
right, shit, this is going to go on for a long time. You mentioned before this. Where do I start? The biggest thing for me was never necessarily going out there and getting people through the door. Mine was the complete opposite, which is I built everything up around myself and I didn't utilize people. I literally was just putting out fires all the time. I built a large business around myself, in short. And that was the biggest thing, with not really knowing who to get the people that I needed on board until I started looking further into that. So I can flip this back to you actually now, because you can probably serve this better. So if people have found themselves into this position, which I've got a lot of friends in the fitness industry who I know damn well are being Atlas, holding up the world and not willing to let control go or scared to trust people and let them in case they spoil it. Who would you say the first initial people are to get if you're going from solopreneur to entrepreneur? What are the next steps to hiring, the next roles that you need to bring into your business for that?
Good. And I always say the answer, people say, who should my first hire be, right? The first hire should be yourself. You need to know what the fuck is your job, right? So you can stay out of the way when you hire the second person. You are the first employee of your company.
Yep.
But most of us don't realize that. So you remember back on I think it was my retreat 2 or 3 years ago when we did the cash flow quadrant, and we talked about it, because what's really important with this, first of all, is to understand understanding your own self-awareness of your own personality type, because there's 2 types of fit pros that get into this. The first is more like yourself. More common is the more what we call the entrepreneur or visionary personality. Someone who's high on energy, high on vision, high on ideas. You'll run out and execute something. That's why you have no problem getting clients. The problem is you build too much on top of yourself. And when you meet other people who are not like you, because you're very rare in the population, they can't keep up with you. They're overwhelmed by your ideas and your energy, and then that frustrates you because there's just too much of a gap, and you're like, what's wrong with these people? Why don't they want to dominate the world like me? And then it causes problems, right? And a lot of fit pros end up in that because it's just an industry that lends itself. The best PTs are almost always like that, right? It's their personality that makes them popular to begin with. There are, however, on the other side, like me, I'm actually what we call an investor mindset or an integrator, which means I'm not naturally like extroverted or energized or anything like that. I see more like the systems and processes and the micro. And people like in my position, what my problem was, and the fit pros that are also in my position, is we plan everything to death and don't take any big actions. So you've got on one hand to take massive action and cause a load of mess behind you.
Oh, a lot of mess.
And ours is like, oh, we plan everything to the moon and back, but don't actually fucking do anything, right? So that's the first...
hide behind the book in the cafe trainer.
That's the same.
Oh, the old days.
Same thing with the trainers who are also like, and you can tell which one you are in business because you'll be the same as a trainer. Are you a trainer that's like, screw this, I can coach anyone, da-da-da-da-da, or you like, no, I need, 16 more certifications before I can lift a kettlebell kind of thing. And so you have to understand which one you are, first of all, because there's nothing wrong with either of those personalities. People will tell you to fix that side of you, but that's a total mistake. So that's like saying, hey, Simon, get organized, track all your finances, like learn to dial in systems. You're not going to do it. Your company needs it, but you shouldn't be doing it. You should be doubling down your strengths, go and sell the vision, go and, put your energy out there. So if you're in that position, you need to find and work with an integrator personality, someone who's more systemized, detail-orientated, and they can come and support you. It can be a business partner, it can be a mentor, it can be an employee. It doesn't have to be like a business partner necessarily. But you'll notice every company at the top, whether it's Apple, Facebook, whatever, all have a visionary and integrator at the helm. You've got, Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg, the visionary, with Eduardo Sovereign, the integrator. Apple had Steve Jobs, the visionary, with Steve Wozniak, the integrator. They've got the Google brothers. It's the same thing. And if you're on the other side, if you're an integrator, you need to get people on your team that have entrepreneur visionary personalities. And again, it doesn't have to be a business partner. It could be maybe your head trainer. You should find a trainer maybe who can like run with the vision, push it forward, and inspire you into action every day. And that's why we work so well together. We get all fired up because your inspiration energy rubs off on me, and then I hope some of like my detail and financial planning and stuff gives you a bit of structure as well.
Makes me realize the importance of it.
Yeah,
I like what you're on about here, because in the businesses that we've built and in different areas and such as that, I've always seen, and this is something I see across the board as well, is when people are not playing to their strengths, burnout, passion, I hate it, disconnect.
Yeah.
And I think I see that as well within the FitPro world.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I really do agree with Justin on that, is become self-aware to the point of knowing your strengths, know what really lights you up, what you're great at, but then also knowing what you're not great at and moving that way. I think that's such a huge...
Yeah,
That's
and you know, okay, that, you know, people will always have resistance to this, and you know, I don't want to hire a team, I don't want to hire, well, you know what, like, fair enough, don't, but you have to accept that you're choosing to have a job, and you can be happy in a job, but you'll be hitting a very small income ceiling because you're only one person. So you can be a really top personal trainer who is really popular, has all the clients, you'll make 10K a month in a gym, but you'll never scale anything because you won't be able to put the systems and planning in place.
And you'll be stressed as...
Yeah, right. And if you're the integrator type, you might become a very good, solid technical trainer or a strength and conditioning specialist or something like that. You know, but you're probably better suited then to try and get more a career in publishing or teaching or something like where you can actually get paid for your knowledge, and maybe leverage that way. So that's fine. Like if that's what you want, this is not a judgment. It's totally cool. But you know, most of the pros we want, they do want to grow a business. Yeah. But you have to admit, if you're going to grow a company is a company of people. You have to learn to trust. And that's why the first step before you hire someone randomly is know who you are, know what box you're in. So, and then the only goal of growing a company is to hire people that take away the shit that drains you so you can be fully you. That's it. Everyone else you hire is just a gatekeeper of your energy to allow you to do the thing that you know is best to be done. That's all you should think about, as simple as that.
I think this is a really good topic as well, because I know a lot of people really do struggle when they're going from solo to entre with more like the trust, the control, allowing those systems and stuff like that to allowing someone else behind the helm. It's a big thing, and I see so many people struggle, don't do it, lose businesses because of that one thing. So I think this could be powerful for this. What would you say the key things are when it comes to hiring? 3 power tips.
Okay, when it comes to hiring, number one, the biggest one of all, actually only one thing you actually need is the person you're looking to hire, their personal vision has to align with your company vision. Simple as that. If you don't have that in place, it's never going to work. You do this with clients, right? You have a company vision, as in like we're gonna serve busy women, 30 to 35 years of age, and help them lose weight and feel confident again. If a client or a prospect comes to you then, and you ask her, what's your goal? What's your vision? She says, well, I'm a busy mom. I want to lose weight and get fit and confident. Great, it's a match. If a prospect comes and says, well, I'm a male bodybuilder, it's not an alignment. It's the same thing with your team, right? So when you're hiring people, rather than thinking about what you can get, you need to be asking them, hey, new person, what is it you want? How could my company possibly serve you? How could I give you a career? Because you're selling a career to these people, right? Because they're going to invest time, money, energy into you and doing work for your company instead of doing it for themselves. You have to sell them on that. And that's the first thing I say to fit pros who want to hire people. I say, first answer the question, why on earth should someone work for you? Why should they bother working for you? And there's a whole paradigm shift. Because you think you're the one giving them the chance, which you are, but it's not like you should be entitled. They should all want to work for you for some reason. You've got to demonstrate, hey, are you building a company culture that people actually want to work for, right? And so same way you sell your product, why should clients come and train with you over all other options, including doing nothing? You've got to be able to answer it. Why should any trainer come and build a career with you, for you, over all other options, including doing it themselves. If you can't answer that, you're not ready to hire people yet.
Straight up. I see so many people scarcity hire. So it's like, oh my God, I need Susan from the corner shop to come and do my graphics, media, accountancy, and all that sort of stuff. So don't hire fast. That's my one piece of advice.
Oh yeah.
Never hire fast.
Yeah, we call that abdicating out of fear rather than delegating out of responsibility. And we've all done that too, because we get into this position and what happens is we start making money, right? We start building, getting momentum, again, because you've delivered a good service probably, and you're getting referrals, testimonials, and word of mouth. Maybe you've learned some good marketing skills, and money's coming in. And what happens as soon as money starts coming in, we start doing 10, 15,000 a month, maybe as a PT, we then start trying to use money to solve all our problems. And we start throwing money at people.
Great problem.
Yeah, Susan, I'm going to pay this person to do my media, this person to run my Facebook ads, this person to do this. And we say, here's the job, I'm going to run away over here, and I'll come back in a month and see how it's going. And those people aren't being mentored, they're not being led, they're not being part of a culture. So they don't know what to do. They're not inspired to actually do work for you. So they end up not doing a good job, quitting, or worse, probably even like ripping you off, stealing from you, or something else that they can get away with. Yeah. We've all been there. So
I feel like just putting the finger on. I think, yeah, I totally agree with that. And the biggest lesson I've learned, and I know this is a Fit Pro audience, my past, is whatever the hell happens, I think as soon as you get into the mentality that everything, it literally is, if you take 100% responsibility for your actions, for your hiring, for your operations, for your systems, it takes it from being a profitable hobby into an actual business. And I think as soon as you get 100% responsibility mindset, that was a big game changer for me. I was like, this happened, okay, maybe money was going from the account because I wasn't checking my finances. Do you know what I mean? And there's no blame.
Ownership.
There's no blame for the owner. No. And that's just, in any business, I think that's such a powerful lesson.
I mean, Gary Vee talks, but I don't quite agree the way Gary Vee phrases it, although I know what he means, where Gary Vee says, like, everything is your fault. I don't agree with that, because I think there's a difference between fault and responsibility. Fault is who caused what happened. Responsibility is who's going to come up with a solution. So, if someone steals from you, that was not your fault. Like, they have to accept you hired a thief, right? I mean, but you can take responsibility. Well, that happened, they had a part to play, but maybe I take responsibility for, being a better judge of character or tracking the finances more, or things like that. So I think if we think everything's off, this is why people run away from responsibility in life. This is the main problem in the entire world, is everyone's trying to abstain from responsibility. And I think that's because we think responsibility is the same as fault, and no one wants to be at fault for anything. But I have a 2.5-year-old son. If I'm out somewhere with him and he throws an ice cream on somebody, that wasn't my fault. I can't control everything like that, but it's my responsibility to say to the person, sorry, let me clean this, let me buy you a new one.
So is the hot chick in the bar who he does that with.
So I think it's very important, like, because now Gary Vee says a lot of these concepts, and he doesn't really get the repercussion of his words sometimes if people read them the wrong way. Although he's saying the same thing, but I want to be careful to clarify that it's responsibility you should take. Don't take fault for everything, because otherwise you wouldn't fire anyone. Like, oh, hey, Susan, you stole 10 grand from me, but hey, it was my fault, so you can keep your job. No, it was your fault, bitch, get the fuck out. But I'll take responsibility for making sure we do something different next time. So you're not always at fault, but you are always at responsibility.
Right, I'm going to take this from operations live stream to probably what these guys will jam off. So let's go from this. I see so many people with amazing services, brands, talents, businesses that maybe struggling to get seen and stuff along the lines of that. What would be your biggest advice, bar show up and expose the business, or show up more? What would be your biggest advice for people who need to get seen more, maybe on more media, maybe local media, maybe not necessarily thinking that they have to go over the world and focus on the local area? Mm-hmm. What advice would you give around that?
Pay for advertising. Simple. Like, put £5 a day into Facebook ads. It'll go further to reach more people than you hustling 25 hours a day making content, you know. But at the same time, you've got to do organic content as well, because you've got to be able to find your voice and refine your message. And thirdly, you can also then, you know, JV with people and get endorsed traffic. But everyone tells you start with organic and then go to paid when you can afford it. But that's 1945 advice.
That was the people who gave that advice who had the organic following. That's what
exactly.
I saw when I was in the fitness industry.
You've got a 7-figure business from organically, but it took you 3.5 years of working 12-hour days. Slow clap for you. You know, they used to say like you have to wait till you can afford paid advertising, but we're not in the 1940s anymore. You don't have to buy a billboard. You can go on Facebook or Instagram ads now for pennies. Put a piece of content out there, run it for £3 a day.
Yep.
And if you say to me like I can't afford £3 in my business, then you've just got your priorities all wrong.
Stop drinking coffee.
Yeah, stop going to Starbucks. Stop, cancel your Netflix subscription, and there you go. You got £3 a day. If you can't afford £3 a day for your business, you've got bigger issues, and you should probably go and sort your life out first. But just that little amount. I'm not talking about doing big brand advertising. I'm just talking about put £3 a day on a bit of content, like a video or something. That just gets views, gets you known. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, but to put a call to action on it, help some people, share a case study, put a call to action, even if it's just to message you if you can't afford a website or anything. It can just be a quick message or drop a comment below, call to action. And you're going to generate interest and leads over the days as you let it run. I would start with that. Put that out there. It takes you literally an hour to do that. And then that allows you the free time and leverage to now start nailing down your organic, to start getting, working with micro-influencers, start getting JV partners locally, get into local media, local press, and start leveraging their audiences. So I'd say it's paid first, tap into, basically you pay for an audience, pay to tap into someone's audience. Then you go to endorsed and local media, where you now pay or give content or time to tap into their audiences. And as that's now working for you, you can then spend time on your organic stuff and crafting your message and really dominating social media, which is, the standard is very low. And that's where I'll pass over to Simon, because I still learn from Simon every day how to make really good organic media. Because it ain't just whack up a status now and hope for money to roll in. If you, what I'm learning from you is if you want to work on social media, you have to respect the platforms and give good quality content. And we all have the iPhones to do that now. You don't need a £600 camera. You don't need a media team. Get those things if you can get them. But you have enough with a smartphone to make good quality content visually and engagingly.
There's just no more barriers to entry anymore with anything. Like, even if your phone doesn't have a camera, you can, like the old Nokia used to have a dictaphone. You can still do a podcast and you can send it. Anyway, Justin's really right in what he's saying, that social media platforms are really, it's getting harder organically. So if you're not actually, content production, you're really having to aim for quality in visuals, copy, video to really start getting seen organically. And this is where I think Justin's point really hits home. If you're not the person who's great or wants to sit and be really creative, send your ad around. So create one amazing piece of content that you can send around the internet. And what that'll actually do by default is drive up your organic reach. So I think that's a really powerful tip. That's a nice message.
Money payments coming in.
Oh, that's what that was.
Passive income. Laptop lifestyle.
That's another topic. But no, that's the biggest thing with media. I think that's the best place to start, is really be aware of what you're putting out. I mean, I always ask, and I kick off a lot of our business chats with, if you were to look into your own social media, your own brand, do you inspire you, and would you buy from you? 85-90% of the times I get people to audit their own stuff. The answer is no. So something needs to change. If you're in a position where you're looking at your own stuff and you're like, oh, this isn't really inspiring, then how's that going to be to your customers as well? I see this in major brands. I see this in businesses, not just people who are looking to build a personal brand. We see it throughout the board. I think that's a really big thing as well. The next little thing, little mini deep dive in social media, is stories are now becoming the new feed. So most people's attention now isn't on the thumb swipe, it's on the tap. So if you think my thumb is millimeters away from saying no to you, if you're running stories and you're creating powerful content through your stories, you need to make sure that that initial showing of you is capturing. And that's the biggest thing, because if you think now people's behaviors on social media, it's nanoseconds. It used to be like, what, 2 seconds to hold attention?
Well, now a swipe is too much effort, isn't it, to do a swipe? So they're just they're narrowing it down for the attention spans, right? So yeah, a swipe is like, that's too much effort for people now. Now it's just going to be tap, tap,
exactly.
tap, tap, tap.
Like, I'd probably get 3 in and I'm like, I'm done. But that's just where I am with social media. The next other thing I want to speak to about social media, I think this can help your audience as well, is, I don't know, I've not read anything on this, but from what I'm seeing on the playing fields, is social media is moving more towards exposure. So, videos of the person are getting higher preference. Live streams are getting higher preference. Even podcasts are on there, are allowing higher preference, whereas YouTube links and all that sort of stuff, competitive, we're failing. So if we think about social media now, what it's actually getting you to do is become more authentic. So authentic content's always going to trump anything, but actually being yourself on camera is the best way you're probably going to get at anything organically anymore, because people want to see the real you. They want to see the person behind the business. Mm-hmm. And that just crosses over to everything. And
if you say, well, my life isn't interesting enough to record,
oh, that pisses me off.
Maybe that's your problem. Get an interesting life then, you know? Or find what is interesting that you're taking for granted in your life.
I think this is the fitness industry. I wanted to say something there. I was just speaking to a lot of people like, I struggle with content. The life of someone in the fitness industry, your entire day is content. You have conversations you can write, film, put up. Every single minute, the food that you're eating, there is no, it's just not.
It's a story
behind
everything.
It's not plausible.
And that's one thing I want to touch on. That I've learned a lot from you is, I never really thought about. It sounds stupid, right? When you think about it, but
I get really like.
I never thought about Instagram stories as stories.
Tell a story.
Amazing, right? But it's like you just hear a story, like a buzz. You don't really think anything of it. You just think, you just mean a 15-second video. It's like, no, it's got to be a story. So, I've gone to put a photo up.
Yep.
And you've been like, what's the story? It's an Instagram story. You're like, no, you have to tell a story. That's why it's called fucking stories, right? Not random screenshot of what I did earlier. It's going to be, so that's got me now thinking, if I take a photo, I've got to start thinking deeper. Okay, what is the story behind this photo? What's the beginning, middle, and end? So,
what's the best way to put any message across that we've done through history? Stories,
yeah. But it's like 15 seconds, so we think, no, it must be a clip or a soundbite. No, it's got to be, you've got to weave a story. You took a photo, did that video for a reason. So now I've seen through the matrix. It drives me crazy when I see fit pros now who are like, this is a clip of today's workout. This is women doing burpees. This is a chia seed latte. That's great. What's the story? So it could be like, think about why you've got a chia seed latte. Why are you drinking it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you learning a lesson out of it? Could be like, I picked up this high calorie chia seed latte from Starbucks. It's not the best version of this, but it's probably better than getting better than a caffeine shot. So have you tried one of these? Engage, right? And so that's what I've learned picking up from you is actually turn something, and this is really good. It gets you to really think about what the fuck are you doing all day, and why are you doing it, and then turn it over to the audience to get their engagement on it. And we know, because of course you said about engagement on stories is now getting more. You have to get people actually engaging on them,
more and more.
Using the polls, the stories, the pick an option, the ask questions, because that's what the social media is looking for. It's looking for live, real-time relevance. Yep. You're becoming like a celebrity, reality TV star, basically. People want to know not just who are you, but what are you doing right now? Because their lives are boring, and they want to tap in and see what are you doing.
They want to see that you're real as well.
We can't fake the liveness. We can't fake this live. We can do some pre-recorded, polished up video with a whiteboard behind us and everything. But this goes better and goes further because we're live, we're in the moment. We've got to riff off the top, and it actually demonstrates who's real experts and who are just polished, scripted fakes and phonies. And those guys I know, some who run 8-figure businesses, and they've built their business on cheap traffic when you could run any kind of video, and they're brilliant at like the 4-part video launches, which they can record with super high quality cameras and a script and teleprompters. Now that traffic does nothing and no one watches it for longer than 5 seconds, and they've got to just click on their phone and go live, and they shit themselves. And their businesses are collapsing because of that. They can't make the shift because they're not authentic.
I presume I have seen this actually within a few different industries. The best thing I can say with like social media, I really hope if there's one message that anyone takes away, like my piece of value is the next minute of this conversation, is know your lane. The biggest thing I'm seeing throughout the majority of industries are people are finding those area experts who are already doing really well and starting to embody. They're losing their own voice, their own message, and they're taking the voice and stepping onto this person's path. And if we think about the industries, there's so many people who are now speaking like Gary Vee. There's so many people who are trying. What's that guy in the fitness industry who just swears?
Smith.
Yeah,
James
there's
Smith.
so many people now running content that's like that, and it's becoming saturated.
Yeah.
But what's happening is now there's a space for your voice and your lane. It just means you have to be grounded enough and confident in your own shoes to walk across your own path and walk that line and speak your message. And that's what goes back into Justin's thing about the stories. Is like, if you know that and you take a selfie or you do have your what was actually going on in your head? Like, for example, like if people are taking selfies, then just be honest and stuff like that. Took this, didn't feel great. And people like that.
I always heard something good, actually came from the pickup community, actually, a pickup video, which is like, you want congruence over charisma, right? We all try and be charismatic, right? We're all trying to be and fake something that we're not. It's better to be congruent and put the camera on and like state how you feel. You're like, hey guys, feel a bit shit this morning, you know, but I'm getting through it. Here's why. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? Well, as soon as you face and you're honest with the emotion, you actually pass through it really quickly and start feeling better because you were honest with it. But if you feel crap in the morning and you're like, oh, I've got to make it look like I'm, you know, especially the females watching this with your Instagram makeup and shit. They're like, I love the ones that are like picture of me like lying asleep in bed, fully maked up, you know, taking my own selfie. And we're like, yeah, right. You know, if you wake up looking like shit, take a photo. Say,
Hashtag boyfriends of Instagram.
Yeah, I look like shit, but here's what I'm doing to work on that. And so, yeah, be congruent with the emotion you're feeling. And that doesn't actually mean bawl your eyes out in a fucking live stream about how crap your life is either. I think you need to... Well, this is a good topic. I'd love to get your thoughts on actually. When it comes to authenticity, right? Do you think there's somewhat of a line where, okay, your life just fell apart today. Let's say you're a business coach, right? You're a life coach. Let's start the conversation with life coaches, right? You're a life or personal development coach, and let's say your life isn't actually as great as it looks on social media. I can't imagine this has ever happened, right? But let's assume you're a life coach and your life isn't actually perfect, right? Even though you had those, you know, branded photo shoots running on the beach and stuff. And let's say in life really...
You mean those were staged?
Yeah, I don't think that happens. But if it did, let's say that, and then one day your life really goes to pot, right? Like everything falls apart, you lose your house, your business collapses. Again, I could never see this actually happening, but let's say it did. Do you go online? What do you say about the people that happens? They go online and they start crying their eyes out and then telling all their followers, like, this is what happened to me.
I've seen it. People do it. But
what are your thoughts on that? Is that authenticity or is that
I think there's
stupidity?
authenticity if it's done correctly. I think the key word you picked up on before was congruency. I think if someone's been congruent throughout, it works. I think if someone's worn a facade of fakery, and then, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's when it shows. I can think of, like, Rachel Hollis, for me, is one of the best people on social media, and there's a reason she's getting so much traction and growth, because she's the most authentic person I see on media. Every day, congruent, honest, talks about her issues, her struggles, and if that happened, she could do that and the audience would have her back. If there's someone who's been on social media wearing the I don't know, the big manly alpha facade, who's been saying 6-figure, blah, 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 blah. Oh! If there's...
We don't name drop on you.
No, I wasn't name dropping. I'm seeing it. I'm replaying this. This happens. This really happens. But if people have been fake and inauthentic and they've been posting a life of fake lies, cars, houses, and then suddenly the flip coin happens, the rug's been pulled. You've exposed yourself. And this is why I'm just massive on like, look, if you like through it's congruency and consistency of time. And I think if you do that with your media and you've got an integral audience and an authentic audience that are following you, if that happens, your audience are going to be the first people to lift you up.
Yeah.
If you're full of shit and lying, your audience have gone, they're disconnected. And I think there is a space for it. I think you're completely correct in what you're saying if it's coming from the right place.
Yeah, same for Fit Pros. You know, like if you're not in the best shape you've ever been at one point, you know, you haven't got to hide it and pretend to everyone and like only take videos above your shoulders.
I did that when I did the photo shoot. When back in the days, my past is fitness world. I actually did that. I used to do all the modeling and the photo shoots and all that sort of stuff, and then just I'm out. And then what happened is I actually about 8 months I did a huge honest post. I was like, look, I've got to be honest with you guys, like that shit's unsustainable. We're a transformation business. However, this is the actual truth. Mm-hmm. This is what goes on.
I'm not living like that right now.
And anymore, that stuff, vulnerability is courage. Like vulnerability is the key word here. Like if you're vulnerable more than often, that's true courage and confidence in my eyes. And when you do that, that's what people are like, holy shit. And it's real. There's a story there. People can relate to their own lives. So
yeah, that's it. And so, and especially when people start using their authenticness as a tactic as well. And I've seen people do that. They're like, you know, I had a giant argument with my husband, or I lost all this money.
Take the agenda away.
But and they'll turn into, you know, here's what I learned out of it, and you know, here's like why it's a good thing kind of thing. I think you can get positives out of things, but when they do it as a tactic,
yep,
to kind of foo-foo it away.
I got a good piece on this.
Instead of saying, you know what, I fucked up,
yep,
and I was dishonest about something, and they just go, no, it was divine, it was meant to happen. So, you know,
the world's smart. Manipulation worked years ago.
Yeah,
like people are smart now. People understand. People know. Like if you're doing a post that's crap with an agenda, that's one way to disconnect from your audience.
Yeah. Well, in every industry, someone has broken out as being authentic, whether you agree or disagree with them. Like, so in business circles, it's Gary Vaynerchuk has broken out. And now people have finally seen, holy shit, this guy is actually authentic. Now I've actually seen a taste of that. Now they're looking at other business coaches like, well, they feel it now. It's like, are you as authentic as him? Right? And
manifesting.
And every industry has that, I think, right? So it's like, your industry is the same in fitness. You're going to see this. Someone has 100%. Shown your audience what authenticity actually looks like, and now that's the gold standard they're holding you up to now. So if you have any inclination of fakeness or, you know, just not being yourself in any way, people will see. Now they have the contrast.
Cheers, Ruth.
Oh, hey, Ruth Mezza, yeah. So now they have the contrast. They can see through it. And they can now see that, oh, it hasn't got to be like marketing spiel. It hasn't got to be professional recorded video, blah, 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 which in, you know, the early 2000s, that's all there was online. And so people just expected it.
It worked.
Now they've seen, oh, people can do marketing and sales and be authentic and run a business or be an influencer, let's say, and be authentic.
I think
the standards raised for all of us.
I think what happens is something works and then it becomes a business. So for example, marketing. No one gave a fuck about marketing, did they? Like, let's be honest. Like, blah, 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 blah. So let's just think that was a big thing until social media kicked off. So social media worked with the people who were already in tune with it. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly people now started teaching it outwards, teaching their techniques, exposing them. Now everyone knows their techniques. So what used to work now doesn't work. So it's like, right, let's remove the mask.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, things change, right? And tactics change, and...
Yeah. And that'll happen again.
and that's what you build your business around a tactic. That's what's going to happen. You know, if you you build your business around kettlebells or around Zumba or around that.
Yep.
Not the real outcome. Not really about the client and what they want. If your business is built around a client and what they want, you can sell them multiple programs, multiple products for the rest of their life.
Yep.
You know, but if it's like, I'm selling this tactic, this tool, what happens when the audience is bored of it or it just doesn't work anymore? You know, if you're selling how to make money on MySpace, you're done, right? I think, as Ruth said here, thank you so much for your gifts. What I needed to hear today. Thanks, Ruth. That's awesome. If you guys have any questions, just drop them on and we'll answer them. We're going to wrap up pretty soon, I think. But
I'll be honest here. Like, there's one thing that I know Justin from the behind the scenes, and I've never really told him this. Why this guy works well is because he gives a fuck. He cares about who he's serving. And in coaching businesses, any business, I think as soon as you lose focus on the people who are in front of you and focus more on the pound coins, your days are numbered.
Oh yeah.
And if should I just wrap up on that?
Yeah.
Focus on the value, like that's it. Like in your content, that should be it. There should be no agendas behind your content, and if there is, be honest. Look, this is happening. This is an offer.
Yeah, I've in my office, I've always done that because I'm just like, you know.
And then I've got another topic now we can go into.
Go for it.
FOMO.
Okay.
Is it FOMO? FONO, fear of not offering.
Go on. Tell us more.
So this is another one I've seen. So many people like content producers, publishing hubs and all this sort of stuff. They've got like these brilliant businesses, but they're scared to be like,
oh, ask for the sale.
Look, I can help you.
Yeah. Now we've opened a whole new kind of worms now.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I've done a lot of work on sales and sales resistance and okay, I'll give my 2 cents quickly on this. Because like most fit pros have this problem, if you feel any resistance towards offering your service to a prospect, you either A, do not understand your prospect and the pain they're in, or B, you don't give a fuck about them. Simple as that, right? If you believe in yourself and know you have a product, you have a cure for a problem, and you meet someone online or in the street who says, I'm struggling desperately with this problem, can you help me at all? And you don't want to offer them, what that means is you are more, your fear of rejection is more important than helping that person transform their life. And you're not even going to give them the opportunity to decide for themselves. So first of all, you're patronizing the person. If you don't make an offer, you're telling them they can't even decide for themselves what they should and shouldn't do. You've decided for them. You've said, oh, you can't afford this, you're not good enough for this, you don't deserve this, you don't want this. That's what you've said. In a cover-up, that's what your ego has actually said to protect you from rejection, first of all. First of all, that's patronizing, and you're an asshole if you think that way.
If I'm really open to kind of worms.
Well, if a fit pro on here is messaging me like, hey, I'm really struggling with finance, I need help with this stuff. What am I going to say? I'm going to say, dude, come and talk to us. We have a mentorship. You should probably get onto it because it's going to change your life. I can say that with a straight face and know it and believe it because I believe in myself and my services. I know what they can do. And if I say anything less than that, then I am being a dick, basically. Right? If you tell me you're not ready for it, then I'll go to the next layer out and say, well, okay, how about you check out some of my podcasts or my live streams for free, first of all.
Yep.
If you're not going to invest money yet, I get it, you're skeptical because you got ripped off by the last 6-figure guru in Bali or whatever. Go and invest some time into my live streams, and then if you then start trusting it, come back and we'll talk. Right? But fit pros aren't doing that, So if you meet someone who's struggling in life, they can't have sex with their husband, they are at risk of health conditions, they feel low confident, they can't go and have fun with their friends, losing family, they can't play with their kids, they hate themselves, they have low confidence.
Could be potentially saving someone's life.
Exactly, right? And this, and I always ask fit pros this question, say, if someone comes to you right now, let's say a guy comes to you and he's super obese, super overweight, and he's like, oh, I'm interested in your program, and you don't sell anything. You're like, oh, just check out my website. And then you find out a week later that guy dies of a heart attack.
Yeah.
again, it's not your fault, obviously, right? You know, or your responsibility in this case, but you should, you know, really think about the fact that you could have helped that person. They reached out to you because you actually went out and said, I'm a personal trainer, I can help you. They reached out, then you kind of backed off and went, oh, no, I can't. Right? So they're like, oh, okay, I'll go with the next person. But if that happens, and you didn't even give them the opportunity to decide for themselves if they'd like your help with all the information and the prices, you didn't diagnose their problem nor prescribe a solution, then you should not even think of yourself as a professional, because you're not. A doctor, rip off doctors all you want, a medical professional would not let that happen. They swore under oath. If I see someone with someone comes in with an ailment and has a rash on their arm, that's gonna you know, mean their arm needs to get amputated, I'm gonna tell you whether and you know, if that person has a cancer diagnosis, or the doctor is like, I can't give a shit what this person thinks of me right now. If a doctor finds out the patient has a cancer, the doctor has to tell them. You think the doctor wants to do that? It's not a sell the doctor wants to make. You have cancer, you might die, you need operation, it's going to cost you £6,000. It's not a sale, but the doctor can't put their fear of rejection or what you think of them above telling you the truth and giving you the chance. They can't force you, but they'll give you the chance to do what. And if the person then says, well, I'll go and think about it, the doctor's just like, what? What does it think about? Sign the paper, let's do this, come on. And if you don't have that conviction yet, then, you know, that's what it means to be a professional, is to fully believe in what you do, to fully understand the real extent of the consequences for your prospect, and to do your part in society and offer that to people if you know they need it.
I think this topic is not just about this topic, but in business in general. Like, from putting your content out there, from getting clients, from not offering, you've got to make it about the person in front of you. If your fears, insecurities and worries are going behind that to the bank balance, that's when it goes. It's got to be about that.
When you care more about helping people, than you care about you being rejected or butthurt, you're going to make a lot more money and actually make a difference in the world. I think it's pretty much
people can see
sums that up. Yeah.
People can see that. You can't fake that. You really can't. I've seen people lie, and you see straight through that.
Yeah. Giving a shit or falling in love with your clients is always the best business strategy. I made a podcast about that. So you can go to justindevonshire.com/biolinks, and you'll find all my free content, hours and hours of the stuff and podcasts on there to check that out. Cool. So let's wrap this up then. Anything else you'd like to say to finish off?
To be honest, I'll probably be on here a bit more these days with me being over this side of the world. But if there is anything that I can add or ask, or if there's even something that you've taken away, just do us a little favor. Just put it into the comments, ask some questions, so the next time, if there is a next time that we do this, we can go into those. If you have taken something away, do us the biggest favor. I'd really appreciate it, because it helps people and content providers who actually do care about people, service, and seeing people win. Get out there, just simply take a screenshot, put it in your Instagram stories, or put it onto your own socials and show people that this content exists. For me, I'm pretty much on everything: Instagram, Facebook, the works. Just Simon Hall, I'll more than likely pop up. I've got my own podcast as well, Nourish Life, if you're into all things life and business. It's all in there. But yeah, I appreciate this.
That's how you promote your social media stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been, a call again. We do this in the mentorship every week. We answer questions from our Fit Pro clients as well. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you're watching this now or recording later, keep the conversation going. We'll keep revisiting and keep checking back for comments and questions. So let's keep this discussion going. We've got a lot of discussion connection ports here today, so a lot of things we've gone into. Keep the discussion going. Let's talk about these topics. They're all very important, and let's help you grow your fitness business.
What I'd love to do is, we'll do another one. We're going to do another one. That's happening now. I've decided that. If there's one thing that you've either taken away or that can be spoke about, or one topic, then just put it below, and then we can just do a deep dive and create a full video on that topic. I think what happens is when you sometimes come on to do Q&As and stuff like that is it's a pebble dash.
We meander
Yeah.
through different topics.
And I think if we can get one hard deep dive, which is personal to you or whatever business you're in, then put that up and we'll make it happen. So yeah, anyway.
All right, guys. Good night. Have a good day. We'll catch you soon.